I appreciate you joining me today. We're going to be looking at the back half of the life of Samson. Our hymn today is From Age to Age They Gather.
From age to age they gather, all the brave of heart and strong, in the strife of truth with error, of the right against the wrong. I can see their gleaming banner, I can hear their triumph song. The truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. The truth is marching on.
Appreciate it, Lee. Verse 2, In this sign we conquer, 'tis the symbol of our faith, made holy by the might of love, triumphant over death. He finds his life who loseth it, forevermore it saith, the right is marching on. Verse 3, The earth is circling onward out of shadow into light. The stars keep watch above our way, however dark the night. Pardon me. For every martyr's stripe there glows a bar of morning bright, and love is marching on. Lead on, O cross. Oh, if I could read. Lead on, O cross of martyrs' faith, with thee is victory. Shine forth, O stars and reddening dawn, the full day yet shall be. On earth his kingdom cometh, and with joy our eyes shall see. Our God is marching on. You're probably familiar with the tune, perhaps. But as I said, we're reading from the back half of the life of Samuel today, Judges chapter 15, as it speaks about him defeating the Philistines and visiting his wife who had been given to someone else. And let's actually back up to the end of chapter 14, as you have him going and taking that wife from the Philistines, and you have the riddle, and then you have her giving the answer to the riddle, and the whole, if you had not plowed with my heifer, I believe is where, if you had not plowed with my heifer, you would not have solved my riddle, and Samson's wife was given to his companion. So then chapter 15, after a while, he wants to see her again, but she has been given to someone else, and the slaughter is on again. The Lord is moving against the Philistines. And you have the account of the water as well, as God splits the hollow place and water comes out. But then in chapter 16, we have Samson and Delilah. But before Delilah, we have Samson seeing a harlot, and where he takes the gates of the city. And then you have Delilah. And as the account of Delilah goes on, and Delilah is wanting him to tell her his secret, the secret behind his great strength, and you have him talking about different things, trying to throw her off that scent, if you will. Verse 13, Until now you've mocked me and told me lies. Tell me what you may be bound with. All of these things happen. And it came to pass when she pestered him daily with her words and pressed him, so that his soul was vexed to death, that he told her all his heart. And we should be very, very careful about who we marry. And, it uses this phrase, and I'm just out of curiosity, reading out of the New King James, she pestered him. English Standard, she pressed him. New American Standard, she pressed him. King James, pressed. American Standard, pressed. Let me see what that word is. Let's see. It really is the word for press. But what is she doing? She's nagging. Remember what Solomon talks about? Better to dwell in the corner of a house, corner of a roof, than with a contentious wife. He phrases it different ways, but he does it 4, 5, or 6 different times throughout the book of Proverbs. Our spouse can make or break us. We better be real careful, because here Delilah is, and she's pressing him, and she's vexing him, and she's nagging him, is what she's doing. And eventually, as it goes on, day by day, eventually he tells her all that's in his heart. And so he speaks about his hair. And so he says, no razor has come upon my head. I've been a Nazarite to God from my mother's womb. If I'm shaven, then my strength will leave me. So she lulls him to sleep, and they shave off his hair. The Philistines come in, as she begins to torment him and his strength left him, she says, the Philistines are upon you. And he says, I will go out as before as at other times and shake myself free. But he did not know that the Lord had departed from him. And so this is where you see there's trouble. And I think the trouble is this. And it speaks to the question, why did the Lord depart from him? I think he was trusting in his own strength. His strength was a supernatural strength, and it was from the Lord. He was trusting in his own strength rather than trusting in the Lord. He was presumptuous. He said, I can go out just like I've gone out before. And he's trusting in himself. It's like, no, the Lord has departed from you. And you have done something that's not pleasing to the Lord. And so the Philistines capture him, they take him, they put out his eyes, and they bring him to Gaza. And eventually, as it speaks about the hair of his head beginning to grow again, the Philistines trot him out at a certain point. They gather together to offer a sacrifice to Dagon, and they trot him out to be a sort of entertainment, to perform for them, verse 25. And so Samson asks to be the person who's leading him, to put him next to some pillars that support the temple so that he could lean on them. Remember, he's blind. And so Samson prays once again that the Lord would strengthen him. And then we have verse 30. Samson says, let me die with the Philistines. And he pushed with all his might, and the temple fell on the lords of all the people who were in it. And so the dead that he killed at his death were more than he had killed in his life. Remember what I said in yesterday's study. Samson's an odd character. He is amongst the heroes of faith. And so as we see his death, it's easy to focus on him wanting vengeance, but we'll simply say this. The Lord answered this prayer. The Lord was looking to move against the Philistines. And Samson, in his death, he was serving God's will. In his death, he was serving God's will. He was willing to sacrifice himself to fulfill God's will against the Philistines. You might think about phrasing it that way. He was willing to die to serve God's will. Might consider it. Appreciate you. Hope you have a good day. Join us tomorrow for another portion of our daily praise.